What if I told you the biggest shift in British foreign policy since Brexit is happening right now? Not because of politics, not because of trade, but because of war. A war thousands of miles away in Iran is quietly reshaping alliances, shaking economies, and forcing the United Kingdom to rethink everything it thought it knew about independence. And now Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said something that would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. The UK needs to move closer to the European Union. This is bigger than Brexit. This is about survival in a world that is becoming more unstable day by day. Prime Minister Keir Starmer made it clear. The UK must build closer economic and defence ties with Europe to deal with the fallout from the Iran war. Let that sink in. After years of political division, after one of the most controversial decisions in modern British history, the UK is now looking back toward Europe, not to rejoin, but to rebuild something new. Starmer called for a broad reset of relations with the EU, focusing on trade, security, economic cooperation, defence alignment. But here's the key detail. He ruled out rejoining the EU single market or custom unions. So what does that mean? It means Britain isn't reversing Brexit, but is adapting to a world that Brexit never anticipated. To understand why this is happening, we need to look at the war itself. The 2026 Iran war has triggered one of the biggest global crises in recent years. Oil supply routes disrupted, Strait of Hormuz under threat, energy prices skyrocketing, inflation surging across Europe. This isn't just a regional conflict, it's a global shockwave. In fact, economics warn this could trigger a major energy crisis across Europe, with inflation rising and growth slowing dramatically. And here where it gets serious. The UK is expected to be one of the hardest hit major economies. Think about that. Higher fuel costs, rising bills, economic instability. All because of a war the UK isn't even directly fighting. And that brings us to one of the most important statements Starmer has made. This is not our war. The UK has taken a caution approach. No ground troops, no direct involvement, focus on diplomacy, defensive military actions only. Despite pressure, especially from the United States, the UK has refused to fully commit to the conflict. In fact, Starmer initially blocked the US from using British bases for offensive strikes. That decision alone created tension in what has historically been one of the closest alliances in the world. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the United States. For decades, the UK has stood side by side with the US in global conflicts, but this time it's different. US President Donald Trump has criticised the UK's stance, pressured allies to support military action, even threatened NATO stability, and suddenly, the special relationship doesn't feel so special anymore. This is where the shift begins, because when trust weakens in one alliance, you start strengthening another. Now ask yourself this, if the UK can't rely fully on the US, who does it turn to? The answer is obvious, Europe. Economically connected, politically aligned, at least more than before, and Starmer's strategy is clear. Build stronger ties with the EU to protect Britain from global instability. This includes defence cooperation, joint economic strategies, regularity alignment, potentially shared security initiatives, and there's already movement. The UK is planning major summits with the EU leaders to redefine the relationship. This is not a return, it's a recalibration. Let's bring it closer to home, because this isn't just politics, it's your daily life. Since the Iran war began, food prices have surged, energy bills are rising, consumer confidence is collapsing. In fact, a majority of UK citizens now believe the economy will get worse in the coming months. And here's the scary part, this could just be the beginning. If the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked, global oil supply takes a massive hit. And when energy prices rise, everything else rises. Food, transport, living costs. This is exactly why Starmer is pushing for stronger EU ties, because facing this alone would be a serious risk. Let's address the question everyone is thinking. Is this a step back towards the EU? The answer is complicated. Starmer has been very clear. No return to the single market. No return to the customs union. But closer cooperation, strategic alignment, stronger partnerships, and critics say this risks reopening Brexit divisions. Supporters say it's simply reality, because the world of 2026 is not the world of 2016. This isn't just about the UK, this is about a changing world order, The US is becoming less predictable. Europe is becoming more unified. Global conflicts are becoming more complex, and countries like the UK are being forced to adapt fast. The Iran war has exposed something critical. No country can stand alone in a crisis like this, not even the UK. So what can we expect going forward? Here are the key things to watch. The UK-EU summit. It's a major meeting is expected where Starmer will push for deeper cooperation. And the defence agreements, potential joint security initiatives between the UK and EU, and economic deals, new frameworks to stabilise trade and energy supplies, and diplomatic leadership. The UK is already organising international talks to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. This could position Britain as a global mediator rather than a military participant. Here's the truth most people are missing. This isn't about choosing between the US and EU. It's about survival in a world where wars disrupt economies overnight. Alliances are no longer guaranteed. Stability is becoming rare. The UK isn't abandoning its past, it's preparing for its future. So the question is this the beginning of a new era for Britain or the quiet undoing of Brexit? One thing is certain, the Iran war hasn't just changed the Middle East. It's changing Europe, it's changing alliances, and it's changing the United Kingdom. And this might just be the start. If you want more deep breakdowns like this, real news, no noise, subscribe now because the world is changing fast and you need to stay ahead of it.